Hey, what's up guys? One of you guys on one of my previous videos requested that I do a walk-around video of my Ducati Monster. So I think I'm finally gonna do it today. Anyway, so here she is. This is my 2006 Ducati Monster S2R1000. Got it with about 8,300 miles on it. She has a little over 9,000 miles now. I had the bike for a few months, and don't mean to get sidetracked, but here we have a NYPD helicopter coming in to land. I believe their base is here in that lot over there. So, man, very beautiful. Yeah, so if you follow me on Instagram, you probably noticed that some bike looks a little different. I used to run the front cowl, but I recently took it off, and I think the bike looks so much better, especially with the clip-ons I have. It makes the bike look so much more like a cafe racer, and also when you're riding, the riding position is absolutely beautiful. Since I mentioned the clip-ons, I think I'm not 100% on what brand it is. This sticker, it looks like it's either LSL or 757. No idea what that is, but that's what the clip-ons say. And you know, from the factory, these come with a handlebar, and the previous owner installed these clip-ons, and actually makes the riding precision really aggressive. The lean is much more longer and more of a reach than my CX-6R, but I don't know, sometimes I like it and sometimes I don't. I might go back to stock. I think stock might suit my needs a little bit better, because I do like to you know, take it on little long rides, and also just commuting. You know, it's so much more comfortable to have a little bit more of an upright riding position. She has some, you know, basic Ducati Monster mods that anybody would do. First things first, that I think everyone with a Ducati Monster should do is a tail chop. I'm so glad the previous owner did it. That saved me a lot of money. And this tail light, it does look a little old, so I might replace it down the line, but you know, right now it's functional, it's working, it has the integrated signal, so you know, I'm happy with it. So next up we have the beautiful carbon fiber dual Zard exhaust. These things are handmade in Italy. Love them. You know, before I got this bike, I never even heard of the company, but they seem to be popular with the Ducati crowd. They actually stay really cool to the touch. Like, you can ride the bike for like 45 minutes to an hour, and you know, you can touch it and it'll be warm, but it won't burn your hand. So that's really good. You know, my last bike, it had the undertail exhaust, and man, like on a hot summer day, 20-30 minutes and you can't even touch the tail of the bike. That's how hot it gets. It's a full system. No cats. It does still have the O2 sensor attached, so I don't think this bike is running the Ducati Performance ECU flash. So that's something I might do in the future to gain, you know, actually get some power out of the exhaust. But right now, man, this bike sounds absolutely amazing. The video does not do this sound justice. In person, it's so much better. These aftermarket bar and mirrors, I don't know how I feel about them. I don't think I like the color. I wish they were black, you know, but they're somewhat functional. I'm not a huge fan of it, you know, like having to look down, take my eyes off the road to look at the side mirrors is not a good thing, I feel like. And you know, it's something that I had to really get used to from coming from my previous motorcycle. And also, one thing I don't like is they have, I don't know what it is, but like let's say I'm looking back and there's a car, it looks further away than it really is in real life. So the first few times I rode the bike, I had a couple of close calls, so that really made me, you know, really nervous in the beginning. But you know, I think I'm starting to get used to it now, and you know, I do more head checks, and slowly I'm getting used to it. I also installed the what do you call it, battery tender, USB charger, and also the quick disconnecting. So you know, in the winter if I want, I can run the battery tender. But you know, most of the time I try to ride the bike at least once or twice a week, just to keep the oil and everything circulating, and also, you know, keep the battery charged. And I also had some maintenance and some I guess repairs done after I purchased the bike. One of the main things was I didn't notice this when I went to look at the bike, and it was a huge mistake on my end. Is that I didn't check the forks to see if they were leaking, and actually this left front fork was leaking fluid, so I had to get both of them rebuilt. That costed me about $300, so that sucked the balls. But you know, at least the oil didn't get to the brakes, so that was good. Like, that would have been a bad day, man, if I didn't catch that. And then also the tires, they were old, so I had 2 new tires installed. These Pilot Power 3s. They're dual compound, so they have a harder compound in the middle and a softer compound on the sides, so you get a better, you know, you get more longevity and also a good grip when you're in the turns going fast. And 2 weeks ago when I went camping, you know, I got to try it out on some moderate twisty roads, and these tires performed really well, so I'm pretty happy. I just hope, you know, I get some good miles out of them too. And then I had the timing belts replaced, you know, just some preventative maintenance. Also had new spark plugs installed. And only thing I didn't do, which is really easy and I should do sometime soon, is an oil change, so I gotta do that. I already have the filter at home. And then I also purchased a new air filter. However, I didn't install that yet, but you know, I'll get to it. And let's see, did have a couple of issues with it. You know, it is a Ducati after all. When I first got the bike kept stalling out. Like, meaning, like, you know, I would come to a stop and I would pull the clutch in and the bike would just die, even, you know, like almost every single time. And this was the first day I was riding it home after I bought the bike. So, you know, as you can imagine, I was freaking out. I was like, oh my god, I made a huge mistake. This bike is a piece of shit, you know. But I eventually calmed down and took the bike out, kept riding, you know. I just kept riding, and I don't know if it had to clear something out or whatever, but it fixed itself. And it doesn't stall out anymore. And also, when I took it in to do the spark plugs and everything, I also asked them to do a throttle sync. So that seemed to have helped the bike idle a little better as well. And I think they connected the stepper motor, because these things have a stepper motor to help with the idle, and I believe it was disconnected when I got it, so they connected that, so now it idles a little better. And you know, oh, and the other crazy thing, it kept blowing the fuse 2 weeks ago for the dash. It's a number 15 blue fuse, and I would be riding and the dash would just turn off. Like, it wouldn't show how fast I'm going or the miles or anything. And then if you shut the engine off, you can't start it until you replace that fuse, which is super crazy, and I had to figure out what's causing it. And also, these bikes have these transponder keys, right? So this is the antenna for the immobilizer, and these keys have a chip and they send out a code, right? Like any modern cars and stuff. What do you call it? What this does is it comes with 2 extra keys. If you keep both of them with you, the ECU gets confused and it would keep the bike locked, like you can't start it. And I didn't figure this out until I started reading online. I kept both of my keys together, and I don't know, I guess it was getting confused and it would not let me start the bike. I was like, oh great, that's another thing I gotta deal with the bike. But then someone mentioned online that, you know, don't keep both keys together. So I took the red key out and left, you know, I keep it somewhere else. And now I haven't had any issues with the bikes not starting. So yeah, I mean, you know, these bikes are kind of finicky, especially if you get these ones with the bigger engines and the dry clutch and all that. So They do take a little bit more patience and a little bit more money, I guess, to keep them running well, but it's good. I mean, you know, they have really good character. I love the way the bike feels. The engine is amazing, you know, it has very, very good usable power. Mid-range and low-end power is amazing. Great for riding around town, you know. Hope you guys enjoyed this walk around me yapping non-stop about the bike. I'm sure I forgot some stuff about it, but yeah, here she is. And I'll see you guys in another video. Take care.